I've decided I'm going to start stripping these door panels, and I'm going to try and talk you through it. It's really not that hard. All you need to do is unscrew these 3 screws, take all the clips out so you can reuse them when you put it back in the car. These door panels aren't in that bad condition. I've seen a lot worse, so I think I'm just going to reuse these rather than make some new ones, because they won't look much different. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's some screws there as well, and that's it actually. So I'll strip those carefully so I don't break anything, and then yeah, we'll see where we are. So all you'll really need to strip these off after you've taken them out the car is just like a Phillips screwdriver and either a staple remover or a flathead screwdriver, because there's a lot of staples around the edges, so I'm just going to do that. These clips have got, I don't know if you can see, they've got a little, it's got a little groove halfway, and that is, that's so you can pull them out. So basically you slide them up and then you twist them, and then gradually, if you can see, that will twist out of the hole. It's just easier than using a pair of pliers and just pulling them out, because otherwise you'll damage the panel and you'll probably damage the clips as well. So I'm just going to do that. Twist all the little clips out. So I've removed all the staples. All you need to do then is just try and peel that fabric off. Carefully as you can, so you don't remove the top layer of the wood. So yeah, the weld that was on the carpet's come off straight away. So obviously that's a thicker layer of carpet, so not a lot of pressure would have been holding that down. I would recommend wearing gloves as well, because if you're not used to like the dust and all the crap, basically, it's not a very nice feeling on your hands, but I do it every day, so I'm used to it. So yeah, try and get as much of the foam off as you can. If you can't get it all off, just use some sandpaper and just sand it all off. So yeah, this is what we'll start with. So all you'll have to do now is just sand down these weld lines, and then I'm just going to put some foam over the whole top, and then yeah, I might have to just have a cover up as well today, so we'll do that. So with these awkward clips, I'm just using a flathead, and I'm just pushing one of the little sides of the grooves out and then twisting the rest of it out, because you can get some awkward ones, especially if the door panels are really old, and you'll get a lot of things in there, especially water damage and all sorts of stuff. So that's all the little clips removed. They're all in good condition as well, to be fair. So that's that. All the foam's been removed, all the clips been removed. This is what you want to start with, just the plain board. And then all you need then is some 1/8 of an inch. Well, it depends what you're doing to your door panel, but I'm going to use this kind of foam. It's like 1/8 of an inch foam. It's quite thick. It's probably 2 or 3 mil. It's thick as well. Kind of says on the tin really, it's 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, if you're doing it by mil, it's about 4 mil thick. So what I'm going to do when I get a big sheet of that, I've got loads here, then you would do spray glue for this with the compressor, but I haven't got my gun with me. I need to go get one in a bit, newer. And then just spray the door panel and spray the foam, because a lot of people use it as like Pritt stick glue, because that's how they would use glue. You just glue it on one side and then you stick something to it, but because this is a contact adhesive, what you want to do is glue both the panel and the foam and then stick them both together, and then they won't move at all. But with this spray glue you don't need to wait for it to dry down, whereas with the spread glue you spread it. You wouldn't use it on the door panel anyway because you're going to staple it, so that'll be more permanent anyway than the spread glue. So glue the foam to the panel and then trim it with whatever fabric you want. If you want to be creative and light, you can layer fabric. Just make sure each layer is going to be glued down, because when you're trimming it you don't want it to move. You don't want wobbly lines, that kind of thing. Especially tartans, they tend to move quite a lot. So with the rear, they have got little speakers in that you'll have to remove. So it looks like these tops just pop right off, so I'll give that a go. Obviously I've never done my door panels before, so I'm literally just trying to go off what I know. So yeah, just use a little ratchet just to get these little bolts off the speakers. This is 9mm if you're wondering. So yeah, if you are planning on doing this yourself, the glues that I use are industrial glues, so the public can't get hold of them unless you own like a traded company. Then you can, but if you're just a member of the public, then I just use Trim Fix, which is an aerosol can of glue. It's not the best, because obviously industrial glue is for the industry. The only problem with that is when it sprays quite a large fan spray. So what I'd recommend doing is just cut in a piece of wood or just something to use so you don't make as much of a mess. So I'll show you an example of something. You'd probably leave about just a little more than 1/2 inch that you want to glue on the back of the panel, and then you just spray that, and then obviously the fan won't project onto the other side of the panel, it'll just go here, if you can see that. So yeah, just that little line there, it just uses it as a guide or like a stencil, and it's a lot easier. That's what a lot of the apprentices and beginner trainee trimmers do, just so they don't make as much of a mess, because if you're gluing on millboard especially, that can rip off, because it's basically like layers of cardboard. So yeah, just a little tip, just to like keep your lines neat, like that. With this job, you don't really need any specialist tools. You don't really need them. Like, you don't really need a staple remover, but I've got one just because it's so much quicker and easier to use than a flathead, and there's less risk of you slicing your hand open. So yeah, all I use really is screwdrivers, definitely. If you've got more modern panels, you'll probably need a socket set as well, because I do have a lot of nuts and bolts on them. And then I've just got my pair of scissors. These are Galadin scissors off Amazon. They're about £13, but they're like the best trimming scissors ever really, because they've got a pointy end, so they're nice and sharp. These are 9-inch scissors. Or 10-inch, no, the 10-inch. Oh no, maybe not the 9. They're doing like 9 and 10-inch right and left hand, so if you are looking for a good pair of scissors, even if you're just using it for cutting fabric, if you want to sew something, they're honestly really good, and they're really easy to use on leather as well. And then I just use my standing blade. This is just from the range. Just get some good standing blades and it's pretty easy. I like it, it's got a bit of wood on it. But yeah, this is an Amtech standing knife, Galadim scissors. They're like Japanese blade, so obviously if you're a chef you'll know Japanese blades are good. And yeah, screwdrivers. That's it really. A few pliers as well if you get like the odd staple stuck in a panel. That's all you need really. Yeah, that's the rear panel finished. I aim to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a ruler and a marker pen. And I'm going to mark a line where I want the houndstooth to sit. So you kind of want to avoid the holes and the holes for the screws, holes for the clips. So otherwise you might have bumps in your covers. So I'm going to sit it. I'm going to sit mine roughly where the weld line is. So I'm going to use the bottom of the weld line as a guide. And I'm going to draw across that. So then you can see the line. Yeah, lines from here to here. So this top half's going to be houndstooth. This bottom half, I'm not decided if I'm going to do it in leather or vinyl. I think it will probably be vinyl, because the backs and seats are going to be vinyl, so it won't look stupid. And you can never tell really between vinyl and leather. So I'm just going to cut a piece out. You want to leave yourself about 1 inch around the side of the panel, just so you've got enough to turn it. And obviously this fabric is going to fry, so just leave a bit of room just for it to do its thing, so you don't end up with holes and frayed edges on the corners of your panels. So I'm just going to flip it over just to get that angle on the opposite side. So yeah, then you'll end up with a one and opposite of the shape that you want. So yeah, I'll put the vinyl out now. I got my Alcantara from Martrim. This vinyl is from Martrim. Most of the materials for trimming you can get from Martrim, and they've usually got every colour in the rainbow as well. Got different quality. They also do leather headlinings. They do original materials as well for a lot of car brands. So that I know they do Land Rover and a lot of the Ford Transit van materials. So if you've got a van that's a bit rough, because obviously you're in it every day if you're a van driver, it'll end up looking like those van seats that I'm repairing. You can get the original materials from Martian. So when we're marking vinyl, I use a trinograph. This is a Stabilo acrylable pencil, and it can write on paper, glass, plastic and metal. It's just like a white crayon basically, and yeah, just use them, and then they just make marks on there. And you can get different colours in them. So if you want to do like cream seats and the white doesn't show up, just use like a red pen or a green pen or a black pen or a brown pen. So literally they have loads of different types. Because I want a nice straight line on that top, because that's going to be my sewing line. I'm just going to use a ruler and my pencil and draw it on that line and put on it. So that's the bottom half of my panel, and then that's my top half. So I'm going to sew those together now. I've sewed the covers together and I'm just top stitching the vinyl now. So, that's my cover done. Oh, lovely. So, that is the finished product. Just got to trim that to the board now, reframe it, so I'll just give you a bit of a closer look. So, can't really see that well on this camera, but I've top stitched. Yeah. So, match up your lines. Make sure you don't pull. If you've got a weaved fabric, which is usually a fabric made from wool, you don't want to pull it too much, because otherwise you'll make it go on the squiff. If you're in the Midlands, you'll know what that means. But yeah, basically makes it wobbly. But yeah, I'm just going to staple this just so you get the general idea. So yeah, make it a bit easier for yourself. The ends of the lines, just mark them on the back, and then when you come to trimming it, you'll know where your stitch line needs to sit on the back of the panel. So measure it all up so it looks level. And then I'm going to staple it down. So what I find the easiest way is to staple one side down and then just pull your vinyl to the other side. Do it from the front as well so you can see what it's going to look like. And then just staple that down, or just tack it. You're not really sure where you're going to have it sitting. If you like, this is obviously when you're gluing it, because I've skipped a step because I'm being lazy, basically. It scares the fucking living shit out of me. I forget I've got it all, it just comes on, it's like, goodness. I think I need to get a quieter one. So I don't die of a fucking heart attack. Corners, what you'd do is with the glued, you'd just cut on the 90-degree corners, you just cut that off because that'll give you a nice clean line on the back. With the curved ones, you just put a few pleats in it, like that. And then you just cut those off and they'll give you nice clean lines as well. So yeah, that's pretty much done. I've kind of done a half-assed job because it's not done, but it's done. So yeah, that is the finished panel. That's what it's going to look like, roughly, when I trim it properly and I don't forget my spray gun. Yeah, that's it. That's what it'll look like. Hello, I'm back. I had to go get some foam so I can carry it on, and obviously so you don't think I'm doing half a job. So I'm just going to do that now, pretty much. Right, I'm using spray glue now. Hopefully it doesn't give me a heart attack this time. Yeah, I'm using 1/8 of an inch of foam. And then I'm going to lay the panel on top of the foam and just glue it all over. So that is one finished panel. All I've got to do now is just staple around the edges. So yeah, that is it. Put the speaker on, trim the edges. That's all there is to it. I also forgot to say, I put my new banner up earlier. Yes, mate. Backdrops and ting. I'm in the mood now because I'm tired and I'm hungry and I need a wee. But yeah, that was my video on how I've trimmed, well, or how I will trim the rest of these panels. If you want to see more, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Don't forget to leave me some questions if you want me to answer anything specific. But yeah, thanks for watching.